All right, here we go. Fuel your body and focus your mind with Jocko Fuel. Save 10% when you use promo code Reyes Reflection. Be bold, be you. Tattoo skincare made easy with Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare. Save 20% when you use promo code Reyes Reflection. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to the Reyes Reflection podcast. As usual, we are free to subscribe and follow me on the socials at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Now I have to pay the bills. Mad Rabbit Tattoo Skin Products. Get yourself some numbing cream if you're looking to get your first tattoo and save 20% when you use promo code Reyes Reflection. And Jocko Fuel, clean, natural ingredients that help energize and recover workouts. Save 10% when you use promo code Reyes Reflection. Now, on to the introduction of my next guest. She is a captivating individual with many astonishing experiences, such as being on the same card as Blake Shelton, auditioning for The Voice, with songs out such as Too Soon, and most recently, Lie to You. Singer, songwriter, esthetician, I believe. I don't know if I said that right, but we'll figure that out. So without further ado, the wonderful, stunning Miss Gillian Smith, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Of course, Gillian with a G. That is also.
Yes, and you did say esthetician right, so you get a bonus point for that one.
All right, I tried. I tried my best. That's a tongue twister. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, when I was like figuring out if I was gonna go to school for it, people were like, "So you're gonna put people to sleep like an anesthetician?" I was like, "No, not gonna put people to sleep. Just skincare stuff."
I didn't even realize the similarities between the two. I did not realize that.
Yeah, they're very similar. So many people think that I work in a doctor's office and put people to sleep.
Okay. All right. Well, nobody's going to fall asleep in this episode. So I saw on a recent post that you moved out into a new place. Is that correct?
Yes, I literally moved in yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you so much for doing this, despite the fact that you're moving in. How's that transition been?
It's good. I'm like 10 minutes down the road. I mean, I'm only 20, so I lived with my parents, and I was like, it's time to get out on my own. So I'm like 10 minutes down the road. I brought my puppy with me, but yeah, we're all settled in. So we're making the most of it, but it was a hectic day yesterday, that's for sure. With a dog trying to move, it was something.
How old is the pup? What's the pup's name?
She's 9 months old, so she really is a puppy. She's a baby, and she acts like a baby. She really does.
What's her name?
Presley, like Elvis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Elvis Presley. I like it. That's a cute name. What breed?
She is a Newfie Poo, so it's a Newfoundland and a Poodle mix.
Oh, wow. That is a good combination between the two. That is a good, smart dog. It's going to be a smart dog.
She's too smart already.
Too smart for her own good. Right.
Yeah.
So we touched up on it. On your day-to-day, you're an esthetician, and it primarily focuses with skincare. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. So I do like facials, I do chemical peels, microneedling, all that type of stuff. And I'm like, I would say like mostly part-time because I travel so much for music.
Yeah, I've never done skincare whatsoever in my life, but based on your social media post and the way you looked on The Voice and how you look right now, it looks like you have great skincare. So I guess maybe I need to get on that.
I'll get you a routine. I'll get you a skincare routine.
That's it. You know what it is? I used to, when I was younger, I'm sure that the chemicals nowadays are a lot better than what they were when I was a little younger. And I use these, maybe you would know what they are. They're almost these alcoholic wipes.
Yes.
And they bothered my skin so much. I actually had terrible skin in high school.
Oh.
I had terrible skin.
Okay, well, wherever you're doing is working because your skin looks great.
Does it? You know what? It's the lighting, all right? It's the lighting.
Gotcha.
And I just worked out, so I'm on that pre-sweat glow, you know what I mean? Like that or post.
You got the glow.
Yes, exactly. Precisely. So on The Voice, you had talked about that you're from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did. So it's like right by Harrisburg, which is like uh, we're like right in the middle of the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, right slap dab in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, pretty close to it.
A lot of burgs. I know Pittsburgh, Harrisburg.
Yep, there's a lot of Bergs. Like so many people thought that I was from Tennessee because I think there's something similar to a Mechanicsburg in Tennessee. So yeah, there's a lot of Bergs, especially in Pennsylvania.
It must just be what it is over there, because I've never seen anywhere else where there's a burg other than Pennsylvania.
Really? Yeah, they weren't real clever with the names, I guess. They just got lazy.
Yeah, right. They were at this point. They were like, "What's your last name?" And we're gonna throw Berg at the end of it, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be the name of this city or town.
Exactly. They just made it easy.
Whoever discovered it.
Right.
Yeah. Let's transition into your singing career now. So you started singing in your sophomore year, I think I saw, and it was a talent show or something like that. Share with me how you got into singing.
So I have been singing. I've been singing for a very long time. I started singing country music when I was a sophomore in high school, but before country music, I had been singing since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was a theater nerd, so I was in all the musicals, and I sang opera music and classical music when growing up. And then I was just gonna stick towards that. I wasn't really sure. Like I knew I loved singing, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it a career. And then my sophomore year of high school, I was auditioning for just a talent show that we had at our high school. And I remember I think I sang like either a Broadway song or like an Adele song. I can't exactly remember, but I just remember my teacher being like, you know, yeah, you're not going to do either of those songs. Like, let's do a Carrie Underwood song. Like, why don't you just try it? And I had listened to country music my whole life. I was raised on listening to country. I just never really thought about singing it because I always thought like you had to have this thick twang. And I'm like, I'm from Pennsylvania. I don't have a cool twang, so I never did it. But then I sang Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. I was like, okay, this is really fun. And like the crowd reaction was so different and it made me love it. And then I started going to like open mic nights and making it a career.
First of all, I've never heard of twang. Can you describe what twang is?
So twang is like, you know how, and with an accent, people will like draw out certain words, especially in a country accent. That's the twang. That's the twang.
Okay, so the twang is a country accent that almost prolongs the word or the way you pronounce it.
Yeah, like drag out phrases to make it longer, and like it's just a thick accent. It's unique. You would be like, oh yeah, they have a country twang. Like it's like easy to pick up on.
Okay, well, I need to work on my twang then. I've never heard of.
Well, now you know.
I'm just kidding. I'm not a singer whatsoever. I feel like specifically with country, maybe it's because a lot of the singing is slower and it's more noticeable. The twang is more noticeable because it's drawn out. How was that for you when you had to learn how to sing country?
You know, I when I started singing country, because I listened to it for so long, it made it easier. Because like I just started to pick up on how they were singing, and then like I created my own little twang, and I think it was a lot easier than I expected, and I think it's a very hard genre to get into, but I think because I had that prior experience of doing opera and classical music and all that type of stuff, I think that really helped me be able to transition into country music and listening to it every day. You just kind of pick up on those things. So it was when I sang it, I was like, okay, I'm really nervous. I don't know if I should do this. And then as soon as I did it, I was like, okay, I can get used to this. This is really fun.
And you said you did theater in high school.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you did like plays and stuff?
hmm
What was a play that you were in?
I was in Annie. I was in Beauty and the Beast. I was in Adam's Family. I was in them all.
Were you ever a main character in any of them?
I was, I think, oh my gosh, I'm thinking back so hard. In Beauty and the Beast, I was one of the main characters that lived in the house. I wasn't Belle. And then with Annie, I was the villain of the show. So that was fun.
Oh, oh man, you don't strike me as a scary villain or a mean person, but hey,
That's hard. That's hard for me to be mean, but I guess in the ninth grade, it was easy for me.
a little easier back then.
Right.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. When did The Voice become a reality for you? When was it something that you were going to audition and do?
For The Voice, it was always something that I had watched, and I had watched American Idol growing up. Like watching those shows was a huge part of my childhood, and that was like our family thing. We've watched these shows together, and I had auditioned previously and like never heard back anything. I actually went to an audition when I was 13, because 13 is like the youngest age that you can audition for The Voice. And like I still had braces. It was not a good look, but
The glow up wasn't there yet.
love was not there yet. So then I just kind of stopped thinking about it for a while, and then last year I was like, why not? I have nothing to lose. Like, let's just audition again. Now that I have a lot more under my belt, a lot more experience, I was like, let's do it. Let's audition. And I had sent in my audition tape, heard back, and I was like, oh, they're interested. And so then it like started to come to fruition, and everybody was like, I was getting all the emails, and then I actually found out that I was getting flown out to California when I was on a first date. I got the call, and I was about to throw an axe. We were going axe throwing, and then I got the call, and I was like, okay, I have to go. I'm sorry, because you can't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody about what's going on because it's a complete secret. So for about like 5 or 6 months of my life, I had this secret that I just wanted to tell people, but I couldn't. And yeah, then it all started happening. Then went out to LA, and yeah, the rest is history.
Did the date still work out? I mean, how did it play out?
We are not together.
Okay, so he probably assumed that you had this double life at that point, but meanwhile, you were actually just going to be on national TV.
Yeah, maybe it would have worked out if I didn't have to leave to take the call. Who knows? But hope he's doing well.
You know what? You know what? As a dude, I feel like at first I'd be like, man, did I do something wrong? But then if I found out that this individual had to be on national TV and that's the reason why, I'd feel better about myself. I'd be like, you know what? That's okay. I could take this. I could take this loss because they have a W.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's okay. He's a great dude. He's a great dude. Just wasn't the best time, I guess.
You know how they say the setup where they say, hey, if it's not going well, I'll text you.
Yeah.
You call me. This dude totally thought that you were doing that for sure. But
He probably did.
hey, we live and we learn. Life moves on. We're just cogs in the wheel. The wheel keeps spinning.
Right.
On The Voice, mom and dad were there.
They were.
You sang Heart Like a Truck. That's a very tough song. Very tough song. I thought you did well. You looked great. You had a great photo shoot prior. What motivates you to continue your singing despite the fact that on that platform you did not get any chairs?
I think if I didn't have experience of being a musician and playing shows, I think that it would have really hurt that I didn't get a chair turn. But 2 weeks before I flew out to California, I got to be on the same bill as Blake Shelton. I opened for Brooks and Dunn the week before that. So I think if I didn't have these things, of course I would still keep doing music because I love it. But after I got back from the show, I was just like, I was ready to go. It actually was a huge push for me because I was like, I don't know how it's going to look when I'm on TV because you don't know. You don't know until it comes out. So I was like, I'm just going to write music. I'm going to, go record it, going to go to Nashville, going to keep playing shows. And when I watched my audition, I was excited, and I was like, wow, okay, that was great. I was happy with the performance, and I think that made it also a lot easier after seeing that. I was like, why wouldn't I keep doing this as a career? Like, I truly love it so much. So just being on The Voice and saying that I got to accomplish that, because I think I want to estimate probably 200,000 people auditioned for my season this year. So that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. So it was an honor to even be able to get on TV and audition.
And it doesn't define who you are as an artist or a singer or songwriter. So I definitely feel like some individuals can take that. And I'm glad that you took it and you went the other way and looked at this as I was able to show my skills. And despite the fact that I didn't get a chair turn, because in some cases too, I feel like, and maybe this is just me, I'm not musically inclined or gifted. Hey, listen, when I'm singing by myself, I think I sound incredible, but I don't. But when I watch it, I was, from an unbiased standpoint, I thought you did incredible. And I was like, the only thing that I feel like it's frustrating for me personally as a spectator is I'll watch it and I'll sit there and I'll go, and I'm not trying to diminish anybody's skills. I'll sit there and I'll watch you, who sang a very powerful song, and I thought you did great. And then I'll see someone else that I don't think is that good, or not that good, but didn't do as strong. You understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to slander anybody.
Yeah, right.
And so I think that's the only frustrating aspect. It's like, oh, come on. I thought that was so good. It was a tough song.
Right.
It actually broke my heart watching your folks.
Yeah.
In the way that your mom, your dad, he was stoic. I was like, oh man, he's a tough man, because I would have broke.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. And I think that I went into this experience being like, whatever happens, happens. Like, I don't know the outcome of it. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna keep doing my thing, because this isn't the only route for musicians.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many different options. Morgan Wallen, who's one of the biggest names in country music, got, I think, 5th place on The Voice. And Lainey Wilson, who wrote the song Heart Like a Truck and sings it, she didn't even make it onto American Idol, The Voice. And again, she's one of the biggest stars out there right now. So I think of course when it happened, I was just like, oh darn it. Like, I was really hoping that this could be a boost in my career. But I'll be honest with you, I have nobody knows this. I was sick as a dog the day I auditioned. I woke up. I did not have a voice at all. Literally could not speak, could not sing, nothing. Like, so weird. And I was hacking up a lung before I got up on stage. And I somehow got all the words out, was able to sing. But was it my best performance? No. I was still proud of myself. And watching my parents on the television, that broke me. Like, seeing them. But I think they're a huge reason of also why I'm going to keep continuing this career. You know, they are so supportive. And I know that there are so many different avenues that I can take in this career. So I'm just going to keep on doing my thing and see what works.
Yeah. Shout out mom and dad. Wow, I did not know that you were sick, and you fooled me. You were incredible still. So
Thank you.
despite the fact that you were sick, you still had a great performance. You still sang your heart out, and it was still incredible. And you powered through. That's another thing too. I find it that in situations like that, when you're sick or injured, you almost find that you could do a lot more than you realize, and you still that's a victory for you, because you were still able to perform that despite the fact that you were sick. And your folks probably knew it as well. So kudos to you. I think you did a great job. And you mentioned it. The story's not over. So kudos to you, my friend. I think you're doing great, Gillian. You mentioned it that you were on the same bill as Dustin Lynch, Blake Shelton, many others. Talk to me about those experiences.
So those experiences, I mean, like, The Voice was a great experience, but those experiences are just like, Oh my, I can't even explain it. Like I still get butterflies like even thinking about it. They're to be on the same bill as those people and open for them, like it's a whole different type of show.
It has to be like one of the best things you've ever done. I was seeing some of the names that you did. I was like, those are incredible artists.
It's crazy because like the biggest crowd that I've played for is I think 50,000 people, and that was at one of those festivals with Blake Shelton at it, and it's like once you get into that realm of shows and you play those, like you just crave that playing those shows more and more because like when you play bar shows wherever you are, your background noise, sadly. Like your background noise, if you're at a restaurant, you're playing. I usually play like 3 hours shows, and it's a lot, and you're usually just the background noise. But to come to a festival where people are paying to be there, where they are paying to see you as an artist, and like looking out in the crowd, seeing people with my merch on, seeing people sing the lyrics to my song, it's like this is why I do what I do, because being able to see people and see that I'm affecting them in a positive way. And it's just like I want to do those shows every day of my life.
No, they sound incredible, and I've been to a couple of those type of venues, and you're right, it is a different experience. You actually bring up a very good point. I never thought about that. When I go to a restaurant or a bar and I hear someone performing, you're right. It's very seldom, unless I'm waiting for the food and there's not, if I'm at a bar and it's not a sports bar, so there's not many TVs or what have you. You're right. Most of the time, I'm not really listening, but I think that it's a really cool experience that you're able to perform in those venues. I would be scared out of my you know what. I mean, I that sounds terrifying, but at the same time, really, really cool that you're able to do that. And you mentioned they're paying for you, singing along to you. So that sounds like an incredible experience. And I'm glad that you're able to do that. And I'm glad that you're using those to help build off of rather than times on The Voice. I love how you said The Voice was a great experience, but this is because you're right. It is a different thing. It's a different world. Those festivals are just a
Yeah.
different world.
Yeah, and it's also like a lot of people when you're on The Voice, like they don't understand that you're filming takes a while. Like so when you're filming, you're not able to play those shows. You're in Los Angeles, like you, and not that that's a bad thing. And that, of course, I loved it. I made great friends, but in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh, I wish I was playing a festival right now, or I wish I was able to play shows because I think from an artist perspective, what I love the most about country music and being an artist is the way I get to connect with people and the way my songs are able to affect them. So like when I'm playing those festivals, it's just like that's a whole different ball game because again, they want to be there and they want to see you sing and they want to see you succeed. And I think a lot of things with live TV and being on national television, like you don't know how it's going to go. Whether people are going to either love you or they're going to hate you. And so I think that like not knowing how that was going to go and being like, oh gosh, I hope they like me. I hope they think that I was talented and hope I should have gotten a chair turn, versus going to these festivals and people saying like, you are so awesome. We love hearing you play. We want to see you again. Like we came here just for you. Like it's there's just no there's no in between of like which one I would rather be doing. As great of experiences both of them are.
And I could be incorrect, but it seems like a positive at those festivals and those shows is that you're able to sing your own work. Where I feel like where you put your heart and soul into that song, writing it, performing it, all those hours behind it. Whereas on The Voice or American Idol or singing shows like that, you have to pick a select song. I've never seen one where they allow them to sing their own piece of work. I could be incorrect by that, but I've never seen it. And I just feel like when you're able to sing your own work, it's just a different ball game. That's just what I feel. I feel like when you can sing a song that you've vested your time, energy, money, like sleep, losing sleep over a song, I just feel like that those songs hit differently and you're able to perform them on those stages, whereas on The Voice and those type of competition shows, you're not.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think just playing your original music is just a whole different feeling that you get, because you put so much hard work into it. And I think that when I play those shows and I'm able to get to do my original music, I rely on experiences like The Voice because they taught me so much about myself as an artist. Because that's the biggest thing that I can take away of being on The Voice is it made me figure out who I was really quickly and what I wanted out of my career. And I am so thankful for that. And the producers and the cast and everybody there is so kind, and they do want to help you. They really, really do. So I really have nothing negative to say about it, except for, it's not meant for everybody. It's not that path isn't meant for everybody, and that's okay. And I think a lot of people on social media and just in general, they're like, oh, you didn't make it on The Voice, like that looks like it's done for your career, like sorry, like that. But it's this just the start. There's so much more to come. And I know I've been in the studio busting my butt trying to get music out and really figuring out, like I said, who I am as an artist. And it was a great experience to push me to do that.
That's really cool. Geographically, where do you perform mostly? You said you were traveling a lot. Geographically, where do you perform?
On the regular, I'm in like Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York, Delaware, but I went on a radio tour this past year. So I was in Iowa, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, Vermont. Like I was all over the place. I was all over the place.
Next time you head up towards Delaware or New York, I'm gonna make a trip.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a trip.
All right.
Yeah. I'm in New England, but I'm gonna make a trip.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna grab a group of friends and we're gonna go ahead and watch it.
All right, I'll hold you to it.
I'm a man of my word, so you heard it here on the Reyes Reflection. I'm gonna pull up. All right, you ready for some burning questions?
Yes, let's hear it.
Awesome. Who are some of your inspirations musically?
Musically, I would have to say it's definitely Carrie Underwood, Dolly Parton. I am a huge fan of Chris Stapleton, and he definitely paves the way for a lot of songwriters. So definitely those are my top three for sure.
Okay, I like it. Share the bathroom duet story.
Oh gosh. So I was in a bar in Miami. It was a drag bar, and I was in the bathroom washing my hands, and I was just singing. I was singing some Whitney Houston, and my previous manager was in there with me. And then I just was like singing, didn't realize anybody was in the bathroom. Then walks out, starts singing, and then a duet just happened. And then his name's Christian, and he lives in Miami, and we just like made that funny video, and I was so crazy at the reaction that it got. Like I put it up on TikTok. I was like, yeah. At that point, I had like maybe 300 followers, and then I woke up the next morning. I was like, it has 200,000 views, and then it just kept going up and up and up. But yeah, and so many people ask me about that when I first meet them. They're like, "What is the story behind that?" I'm like, "You had to be there. It was really funny." But yeah, a cool duet came out of it.
Yeah, no, a very cool one. I recommend anybody go watch it. I watched it when I knew I was grabbing you on the show. I watched it and I was like, "This is awesome. This is like a once in a lifetime moment." It was really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun for sure.
Shout out, you said his name was Chris?
Yeah, Christian.
Shout out Christian. All right, we love it. We love it. That reminds me of a time similarly with me. I was at Waffle House.
Oh.
And that song Killing Me Softly, you know that song?
Yes, yep.
It came on and my family was sitting at one table. There was another dude and his girlfriend sitting at another table, and that song came on, and every single person in that Waffle House, including the workers, we were all singing it. Didn't matter that we all couldn't sing, but it was just a once-in-a-lifetime moment that we all were singing together in harmony, off pitch, at like 11:30 p.m. But it was a great time. It was a great time. It's just, it's those moments that you live for. There's no video of it, unfortunately, because this was. I know. It's etched in my brain, but not in history, unfortunately.
I was a little nervous because I feel like there's so many different routes that I was in Waffle House with a story where that can go. So I was curious on what you're gonna say.
Yeah, no. That's such a good point that I was in Waffle House, and wow, and we don't know where that tail end of that story would end. You're right. You're right. It's a valid point. What is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby, I would have to say, I'm a big lacrosse player. I played lacrosse since I was in kindergarten. I played kindergarten through 12th grade and even after 12th grade. And I played in high school, then almost went to school for it. But yeah, that's definitely a big hobby of mine.
What position were you?
Defense. I'm 6 foot, so I feel like it's the only correct position to do.
Are you actually 6 feet tall?
Yes, I'm very tall.
What's very interesting was when I watched you on TV, I said, she looks really tall, but I couldn't tell if it was just TV.
Yeah, no, I'm really tall, and I was wearing heels, so I was probably about like 6'3". Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm 5'8" on a good day. All right. There you go.
Hey, that's okay. Okay.
Right? It's who I am. I got to embrace it. Just like you got to embrace it. You sit here saying, I'm not going to get any shorter, or in my case, I'm not going to get any taller. It is what it is. Yeah.
You deal with it.
I'm with it. I'm with it. What would you say is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Step Brothers, hands down.
Oh my goodness. You're joking, right?
No, it's the best movie. It's the best movie. I can always rely on that movie to make me laugh.
So, Boats and You Know What
Yeah.
was my ringtone for a while.
I love it.
So, yes, that was my ringtone. And I believe it was my senior year of high school or freshman year in college, and I purposefully put it loud on purpose one time and had my friend call me in class so that way everyone in class could hear it. This was before like prank talk and YouTube was big about that stuff.
Gotcha.
All right. I feel like we're good friends. I feel like we've gained some good friendship here. So this is going to be the deciding factor, okay?
Right.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I've had it. It's okay. It's not my first choice.
But does it have a place on pizza?
It does have a place. I think
it
tastes good. It's not my favorite, but it's good.
Okay. I'm glad that we can remain friends then.
Yes, we can stay friends after. Okay, perfect. I didn't know how to answer that.
Similar to the Waffle House question. You didn't know where it was going to end. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh. I have a couple weird ones.
Shoot them out. Let's hear them.
Well, when like people are really loud breathers, it irks me. I don't know why. It just I can't. That's something that bothers me. Another pet peeve is when this is my biggest one. When people are rude to somebody at a waiting staff at a restaurant, like a hostess or something, for no apparent reason. I'm like, what was that for? And like just being so rude. I am the first to say something because I'm like, they're just doing their job.
And 9 times out of 10, it's not their fault.
No,
it's not.
Usually never their fault.
Okay. So in other words, if you're on a date with a person and they're being rude, you're like, give me the check. I'm out of here. I'm done.
Exactly.
After you call them out on it. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Advocating for those workers. I like it.
Absolutely.
I like it. And wait, what was the first one you said? Loud breathers.
Yes, that's a
Okay.
big one.
Now, when people just breathe loudly, or if they're like running and then they start huffing and puffing?
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to say, note to self, never jog near Gillian.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I'm ever struggling, then we're in trouble here. Okay. Chat pack time. I'm going to ask you a random question from the chat pack.
Okay.
Random question from the chat pack. Okay. Oh, if you had to give yourself a new name, what would your name be?
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
Good question. That's a tough question, but that's a good one. I love the name Blakely. Like Blake Lively, but you like put them together. Blakely.
But together.
Yes.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Gillian Blakely Smith. I'm just kidding. What's your middle name? What is actually your middle name?
Gillian Christine Smith.
Christine. Okay. All right. Christine and Blakely. There you go. But hey, you never know. If you in the future, if you have a child, you can name Blakely or a dog.
Exactly. Yeah. Presley, Blakely, it works.
Any projects? I know we talked about your song that just came out not too long ago, actually. Any other projects in the works? Anything like that coming up in the future for you?
I have a lot of new music that I'm working on. I just got back from Nashville about 3 weeks ago, recorded 2 new ones. So just getting as much music out as possible.
Perfect. Plug in your socials then. Where can people find you, listen to you, all that jazz?
If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Gillian Smith Music. It is spelled with a G. And I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming platforms under just Gillian Smith.
And did I hear you say early in the episode that you had merch?
I do have merch. I just released new merch, and that's on my website, GillianSmithMusic.com.
I'm going to have to cop something. You have any sweaters?
Yeah, just shoot me a DM. I'll send you something.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best. Well, Gillian, thank you so much for joining the Reyes Reflection podcast. You are now sworn in, okay? It is basically like being an Avenger. Boom, boom. This is the official sworn in, whatever it's called. So thank you so much for being a friend.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had an awesome time.
Of course, that is going to do it for this episode of the Reyes Reflection podcast. Follow the show, follow me on the socials, and as always, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm the Dude Oprah, and I love you all.